مساء الخير.
Good evening,
سعادة سيد
Your Excellency Norbert Pudey, Mayor of the city,
سعادة
Your
السيد
Excellency
رولف
Mr. Rolf Konings,
السادة
ladies and
والسيدات
gentlemen,
أعضاء
members of the
مبادرة
Mönchengladbach initiative,
مونشنجلادباخ. السيدات والسادة الحضور.
esteemed audience.
أود بداية
First,
أن
I would like to
أشكركم
thank you
على دعوتكم
for kindly
الكريمة لي
inviting me to speak to this
لأتحدث
respected
إلى
elite
هذه النخبة
of dignitaries
المحترمة من الشخصيات
and allow me
المرموقة
to pay my best regards
موجها التحية
and appreciation
والتقدير لكل
to
واحد
each and every one of you and
ومهنئاً
congratulate you
بمرور
on the
10
10th
سنوات
anniversary
على
of the
تأسيس مبادرة
Mönchengladbach initiative,
مونشنجلادباخ.
a
هذه
leading
المبادرة
initiative
الرائدة التي وضعت
that has
بنصب
laid down
عينيها جملة
a set
من
of noble
الأهداف
goals
النبيلة خدمة
to serve the civil
للمجتمع
society
المدني وتنمية الاقتصاد
and develop the
في
economy
منطقتكم
in your region
وذلك عبر هذا
through this
التجمع
distinguished assembly of
المتميز من
members
الأعضاء
that comprises a
المنتمين
well-renowned
إليها
group
من شركات
of regional
ومؤسسات
and
لامعة
international
على
companies and
المستوى
organizations.
الإقليمي والعالمي. وهي فرصة
It is an opportunity to
أتقدم من
extend my
خلالها
regards
بالتحية
and
والتقدير
appreciation to the
للمشاركين في
participants
هذه
in this
الندوة
event,
من
including
المؤسسات
NGOs,
الأمنية والاقتصادية
economic organizations,
والشخصيات الألمانية
German
السياسية
political and
منها
cultural figures,
والثقافية إضافة إلى
and
رجال
businessmen
المال والأعمال الذين
who have worked with faith
آمنوا وعملوا
within a
في
framework
إطار
of
من
cooperation and
التعاون
solidarity
والتضامن الذي
to achieve
يمكنهم
progress
من تحقيق
and offer
التقدم
assistance
وتقديم المساعدة
for others
للآخرين من أجل
to
ضمان
ensure
مستقبل
a better
أفضل
future for the
لمنطقة
Mönchengladbach area, its
وسكانها
population
وبنياتها
and infrastructure
التحتية هنا في
here in the
منطقة
region
شمال
of
غرب
northern West
الراين
Rhine
بل وفي
and even all
جميع
across
أنحاء
Germany.
وبهذه
On this
المناسبة
occasion,
نود أن نشيد بمستوى
I would like to
العلاقات
acclaim
الثنائية
the level of the German-Palestinian bilateral relations, highly valuing all the economic support provided by the German government and the friendly German people to Palestine. For this support has contributed to building and empowering a number of our Palestinian state institutions, as well as establishing a great number of infrastructure projects in a scientific and modern manner that will contribute to the well-being and prosperity of the Palestinian society. Ladies and gentlemen, I reiterate my thanks and appreciation for you on holding this seminar titled Peace Prospects in the Middle East and for inviting us to participate. Your interest gives us more hope and faith that is necessary to achieve peace in our region, since Palestine has always been the essence and core of the conflict. The historical injustice incurred upon our Palestinian people for well over 6 decades and a half has been tainted with much of our people's suffering, blood, and tears. As we have solid faith in the need to achieve peace and coexistence, the Palestine Liberation Organization, the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people, wherever they are, has undertaken the responsibility, made challenging historical decisions, and endorsed via its institutions and official bodies the acceptance of establishing the independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital on less than a quarter of the area of historical Palestine. Now about 2 decades have passed since we started the negotiation process with the Israelis. And Palestine and its people are still awaiting their freedom and independence and establishing sovereignty on the Palestinian national soil in accordance with international legitimacy resolutions and the Arab Peace Initiative as endorsed under the Security Council Resolution 1515 as a means of reaching peace and stability in our region. Ladies and gentlemen, as I speak to you today, in the name of the State of Palestine and its people, I feel that we are not alone in this world, and that there are a lot of friends in freedom, peace, and justice lovers who support us in achieving the dreams of our people and its national aspirations to live a dignified life in their country, Palestine. And you are aware, ladies and gentlemen, that Palestine has become an observer state at the United Nations on the 29th of November last year. This status is not intended to delegitimize anyone. It is to uphold the legitimacy of a state that has to be established, and that is Palestine. The international community, by voting with a vast majority in favor of the recognition of Palestine, was trying to advance the peace option and rejuvenate the peace process. We have been true to our word with our friends in Europe and the world when we told them that Palestine's status at the United Nations is no alternative to negotiations, and that we will return to the negotiations table, and there is no contradiction between the United Nations observer status and returning to negotiations. And here we are, back to the negotiations as we promised. A few weeks ago, a new round of negotiations has started, thanks to the highly appreciated and dedicated efforts of His Excellency the United States President Obama and Secretary of State John Kerry. I would like to reaffirm, as I stand before this esteemed audience, that we have started the negotiations and that we will carry on from our end with faithful and honest intentions, open minds, determination, and a strong will to succeed. We will respect and implement, as we have always done, all of our obligations, and we will create the enabling environment to ensure the success of these negotiations in order to reach a peace agreement within 9 months, which is the duration that has been agreed upon. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not start in a vacuum, nor are we lost in a labyrinth. We are aware of our destination and where the finish line is. Since the goal of peace that we seek to achieve is specified, the goal of negotiations is clear to everyone, and the peace process, terms of reference, basis, and foundation have been long ago established, because we are the seekers of right, justice, and peace, who endeavor to redress the injustice that befell our people since the 1948 Nakba. We aspire to achieve a just peace that both the Israeli and Palestinian people will enjoy, as well as the peoples of the region. Since the aim of the negotiations is to reach a lasting peace agreement that leads to the establishment of the independent and full sovereign state of Palestine, with East Jerusalem as its capital on the entire Palestinian territories occupied in 1967, which will live in peace and security alongside the State of Israel. In addition to reaching a just and agreed solution to the Palestinian refugees problem, according to the United Nations Resolution 194, and as provided for by the Arab Peace Initiative. We also reaffirm that we won't accept to enter a new interim agreement, including a state with temporary borders, which was proposed earlier, or to be involved in provisional agreements, since we aim to reach a lasting and comprehensive agreement and a peace pact between the two states of Palestine and Israel that addresses all questions and finalizes all the outstanding issues, which will allow for announcing an end to the conflict and demands, according to the resolutions of the international legitimacy, including the Security Council resolutions and the historic resolution of the United Nations General Assembly to enhance Palestine's status, European Union resolutions and statements, and those of regional and international organizations. All these have garnered widespread international consensus in late years. Ladies and gentlemen, we are driven by hope and determination, and our just and legitimate rights to move ahead on the road of peace. The international community is asked to support the negotiations and overcome obstacles to ensure its success through commitment to the peace objectives, the negotiations goals and terms of reference, and the key principles of the Permanent Status Agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, history has taught us that the policies of war, occupation, domination, barriers, repression, arrests, and violation of people's dignity is ephemeral, even if it offers calm, because it is artificial, fake, and short-lived. Therefore, Israel, the occupying power, has to give up the wall-building approach and the arrogance of force. It has to acknowledge the rights of the other and behave in a manner respectful of equality in order to make peace in the land of divine messages, the birthplace of Jesus, peace be upon him, the ascension of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the tomb of Abraham, peace be upon him, the father of the prophets. It has to establish bridges of coexistence and good neighborhood, refrain from plotting security excuses and concerns to perpetuate its occupation, and stop making claims in East Jerusalem that push the conflict from its defined political terrain towards the abyss of religious conflict in a region already overburdened with sensitivities, the thing which we utterly reject, since we renounce
انطلاقاً من
extremism
رفضنا أيضاً
and
للتطرف
terrorism of all
والإرهاب
forms.
بكل أشكاله. لقد
We
قبلنا
have accepted that
بأن تكون
Jerusalem
القدس
be a capital
عاصمة
for the two
لدولتين،
states,
كل القدس، وأن
and
القدس
that East
الشرقية
Jerusalem
هي
is the
عاصمة
capital of the
دولة القدس.
Palestinian state.
ونؤمن
We
بأن
believe
القدس
that Jerusalem should be
يجب
open
أن
to the
تكون
followers of the
مفتوحة
three religions,
للعبادة لأتباع الديانات الثلاث الإسلامية
Islam, Christianity,
والمسيحية
and
واليهودية.
Judaism.
أيها السيدات
Ladies and
والسادة،
gentlemen,
إن صنع السلام
just
العادل
peacemaking
هو
is the
الخيار
feasible,
الأساسي
rational,
والمنطقي
and humanitarian choice,
والمجدي.
and
ونحن
we
نؤمن
believe
بأنه خيار
it is a
ممكن.
viable choice.
وإنني على ثقة بأن
I'm
الشعب
confident that the
الإسرائيلي
Israeli people
هو
want peace
الآخر
as well,
يريد السلام، وأن
and that its
غالبيته
majority
تؤيد
supports the
حل
two-state solution.
الدولتين. إن تحقيق
Achieving
السلام
peace
بين
between
فلسطين
Palestine and
وإسرائيل
Israel
هو
is the
المدخل
mandatory
الإجباري
entry point
المدخل الإجباري
to reaching
للتوصل
comprehensive
إلى
peace
السلام الشامل بين
between
الدول
Arab and
العربية
Islamic countries
والإسلامية
and Israel,
وإسرائيل طبقا لقرارات
according to
الأمم
the United
المتحدة
Nations
ومبادرة
resolutions and the
السلام
Arab Peace Initiative,
العربية التي
which guarantees recognition
تضمن
of Israel
اعتراف
by 57 Arab and Islamic
57
states
دولة
once Israel
عربية
ends its occupation
وإسلامية
of the
في
state of
إسرائيل
Palestine
فور
and reaches
انتهاء
a final
الصراع.
peace agreement with it.
إن الفترة القادمة
The coming period
هي
is a
فترة
period of
أمل
hope and
وانبعاث
economic
اقتصادي في
resurgence in
فلسطين.
Palestine.
حيث قدم السيد
Since
جون
Mr.
كيري
John
وزير
Kerry, the
خارجية
United
الولايات
States
المتحدة
Secretary of State, has
مبادرة
offered an initiative
لتوفير حزمة
to provide a
مشاريع
package of
لإنعاش
projects
الاقتصاد
to revitalize the
الفلسطيني
Palestinian economy,
تتيح الفرصة
which will allow
للقطاع
the foreign
الخاص
and international
الأجنبي
private
والدولي
sector to
للاستثمار
invest
في
in
فلسطين.
Palestine.
ففي فلسطين
In Palestine,
قانون
the investment
استثمار
law
عصري
is modern and
مرن
flexible.
يشجع
It encourages
المستثمرين
investors
على
to come
القدوم
here
إليها
reassured,
ونعمل
and we are
على
working to
توفير
create
بنية
an
تحتية
infrastructure and a
وقانونية
legal environment
كفيلة بضمان
that
حرية
guarantees the freedom and
الاستثمارات
promotion
الواردة
of existing and
والمقيمة
potential investments.
وتشجيعها. ففلسطين
Palestine
دولة
is an emerging
ناشئة
country
تتمتع
with a young
بمجتمع
population
شاب
and
وانفتاح
cultural
حضاري
openness, and
ولدينا
we
سوق
have a labor
عمل
market,
وإنتاج
and the
منفتح
production is open to the
على
region's
أسواق
markets
المنطقة
and
يمكن
can be invested
الاستثمار
in
فيه على نحو
in a way
يؤدي
that
إلى
leads to great
منفعة
mutual benefit.
متبادلة كبيرة. وإنني من هذا
From this
المنبر
platform,
أدعو
I
المشاركين
call
في
on the
هذه
businessmen
الندوة من رجال
who are
المال
participating in this
والأعمال
seminar
لزيارة فلسطين
to visit
والاطلاع
Palestine
على
to see the
الأوضاع
situation
فيها
there
واستطلاع الفرص
and explore available
الاستثمارية
and potential investment
المتوفرة
opportunities
والممكنة وما تحمله من
and the
آفاق
future promising
مستقبلية
prospects
واعدة
such
ومفيدة
opportunities
لنا
can carry for
جميعاً
us all
ممن يرغبون في
and
المشاركة
those who
معنا
wish to build
حيث
partnerships with
يستطيع
us.
المستثمرون عقد
As
شراكات مع
investors can partner up
المستثمرين
with Palestinian
ورجال
investors and
الأعمال
businessmen.
الفلسطينيين. ففلسطين
Palestine
تتمتع
has promising opportunities
بفرص واعدة
as well
ومجالات
as vast and
رحبة
broad
وكبيرة
potential
لموقعها
due
الجغرافي
to its geographic location and
ولأهميتها
touristic
في مجال
importance.
السياسة
Agricultural
والاستثمارات
and industrial
الزراعية
investments,
والصناعية والاتصالات
telecommunications, and
وتكنولوجيا
information technology,
المعلومات وإنتاج
production
وتوزيع
and distribution
الطاقة
of electric power
الكهربائية من خلال
through
الاستثمار
investment in
في
alternative
حقول
energy,
الطاقة البديلة وخاصة
particularly
الشمسية
solar
منها
energy,
والتي
which
توجد
are
لدى
fields that
ألمانيا
Germany has
خبرات
unparalleled expertise,
منقطعة النظير فيها وفي
as
سواها
well
من
as
المجالات
other industrial
الصناعية
and
والعلمية.
scientific fields.
سيدات
Ladies and
والسادة،
gentlemen,
إننا
we are
نعمل
working
دون كلل أو
tirelessly
ملل على بناء
to build the
على بناء
institutions of our
مؤسسات
prospective future
دولتنا
state,
المستقبلية القادمة ونحن
and we are
مصممون
determined
على
to succeed
النجاح ونواصل ثباتنا
and remain resilient on our
وصمودنا
land.
على أرضنا ونمضي في
Proceed with our
جهودنا
efforts to
لتحقيق
forge
المصالحة
national
الوطنية
reconciliation,
الداخلية وتعزيز دعائم
reinforce the
الأمن
foundations of
والسلم
community
الأهلي
peace and security,
والمجتمعي وأسس مجتمع
and the
مدني
cornerstones of a civil
قائم
society based on
على
democracy,
التعددية
pluralism,
والديمقراطية
rule of law, and respect for human rights. We hope for a brighter tomorrow for our people and all the peoples of the region, with no exception. Failure in the ongoing peace talks will have undesired repercussions for our region and the world. Therefore, the international community is required to step up its efforts and seize the opportunity to ensure the success of the peace talks for the well-being of both the Palestinian and Israeli peoples, as well as the peoples of the region and the whole world. I greet you all once again, and I would like again to thank your venerable organization and the friendly German people, wishing you all the luck, success, and prosperity. May God's peace be upon you.